Hello everyone, my name is Tai Yang and you can call me Tai. Today I'll be your tour guide and I want to share about one of the most famous tourist destinations in Taipei city, which is the Longshan Temple. In the back, you can see this temple is built in 1738 in the 18th century and it's founded by the immigration from Han Chinese and it's dedicated to the God of Mercy, which is local people known as Guan Yin. So later on, I will bring you inside the temple and make sure that you can see all the beautiful decoration and all the boundaries history about this temple. So please follow me and let's keep having fun. Now, I want to tell you the story about the name of this temple. Longshan Temple, if you directly translate it means the Dragon Mountain Temple. It is true that the temple inside has so many dragons. Actually, you can even see it right now. There's 2 dragon columns right in the front door over there. And beside that, around the rooftop and the ceiling, here is filled with amazing dragon decoration. But this is not the reason why it's named after that. The name Longshan is actually from a province of China. And they directly bring that name from China to Taiwan. Why is that? Because Taiwan ancestor is mostly immigrant from the southern part of China. So when our ancestors settled down in this new world, Taipei, they bring the Longshan Temple directly the name and settle the temple right here. And that's why this temple is so important to us, because this is actually the first temple that the Han Chinese built on this island, Taiwan. I would like to share how we enter and exit the temple. In the temple on this island, you must walk from here to the right-hand side, and then leave from the left-hand side. And that is the right path to go. If you do it opposite, we believe that will bring bad luck to you. And on the other hand, you might ask, so who will walk in the middle? That door is for God. God will walk through the middle door. So the visitor and the worshiper will go through right-hand side over here and then leave it from there. Everyone, before we enter the temple, here is where we throw our worries, our bad thought, our bad emotion to the water. This is a man-made waterfall. And this waterfall is used to be a place to calm your heart. So we would like to invite every visitor, before they enter the temple, they will throw their bad energy into the water, right over here. Longshan Temple is the spirit heart of Taipei. Many local people visit this temple every day. You can see how sincere they are worshiping the God. And the God they are worshiping in front of them is the God of Mercy, which we know as Guan Yin. You can see how they use their hand gesture to express their respect to the God. And this is actually one of the most important hand gesture in our religious. Is to hold your hand in front of your heart and then do 3 bows. So you can observe it a little bit, just like that. And later on you will hear the sound they crack down on the floor. They're actually speaking to the God and use one of the typical communication tools. Let me show that to you. This one. They are using this to communicate with God and ask God questions. So when they throw this to the floor, they will know what the God replied to them. Everybody, this is called Bui and also known as moon block. So what is this for? In the previous tour, we know this is a way of communicate with God. So now let me express how it works. So when we do our prayers, we will throw this moon block to the floor. And when it's one side up, one side down like this, that means that God say yes. When it's like this, It means God is smiling to you. And that's also mean like maybe, or I'm not sure, maybe you should try that question again. And if it is like this, that means no. So actually local people use this method to communicate with God and ask the God yes and no question. And this is the moon block. I want to tell you a way of knowing the sign from the God. Here is a fortune stick. So after the people worship the God, they will ask some question. But maybe some question is not that easy to answer. So one of the way is you ask your question to the God and then you draw a stick. And the stick will give you a number. This is number 64. So later on we have a wooden box that will give you the story sign of what the God wants to tell you. This is the wooden box. So as we know, we have the number of 64. And now I will look for the box of 64, where it is, right over here. Inside, it has a piece of paper. And this piece of paper is actually a poem. And this poem actually represents some of the message delivered from the God. And for many people, they couldn't really just understand it. So they have a service in the temple, which is an office that you can bring this poetry to them, and they will explain what it's about to you. So now we are looking at the main hall of the Longshan Temple. It is rebuilt after the World War II. You can see how detailed the carving it is. Longshan Temple is not only just a temple for the local people. In the past, during the 19th century, 20th century, this is always a center of everything. People come here to talk about business. People come here to have their social life. And at the time, everyone loved this temple, so everyone donates something to help build this temple. They hire the finest carver around the island to carve this amazing building right in front of you. You can see some of the detailed dragon decoration and some of the amazing open stone carving. And at the time, you can see this is just like an image of a palace. So definitely, for the God, we will imagine he or she need to live in the most beautiful house of all. I want to tell you a story of God of Mercy, Guan Yin. During the Second World War, Taiwan was occupied by Japanese. So the whole Taipei city has been bombed. And the people said, during the bombing, the whole temple was destroyed, but only the Guan Yin statue standing right here, unharmed. So people know that this is the power of Guan Yin that protect himself from the bombing. Here we see is a Taoism God. Longshan Temple is a very important place of Taiwan religious. And when we talk about Taiwan religious, we think about Buddhism and Taoism. Buddhism is the God of mercy, which is Guan Yin, we know already. And here is the Taoism God. And Longshan Temple combine them both. So when we talk about what is the religion of Taiwan, it's actually the combination of Buddhism and Taoism. And Longshan Temple itself, it represents that. And here is a God of civil service. In the past, when people need to find some support from the government, they will need to talk to this God. And at the same time, because usually the government officials are all well educated. So nowadays, there are so many students, when they wish their exam get a high score, they will pray to him. So for the local people right now, they are mostly students that pray to this God.
Hello everyone. Now, please look in front of you. You can see some people are worshiping, and they are facing the Sea of God, Mazu, which is one of the most well-known Taoist goddess in our local religions. Mazu is so important because Taiwan is an immigration society. Most of the people immigrate from southern part of China. So when they travel from southern part of China to Taiwan, they have to cross the very dangerous ocean. And that's the reason why everyone worship him as the goddess of Mazu.
Okay, everyone. Now behind me, there are two very important Taoism gods in this temple. Right over here is a god of love. We also know it as Yue Lao, which local people will pray to this god and they will ask about their marriage life. The story tells that Yue Lao have a marriage book. So when you want to know of your Mr. Right, you actually tell him what you want, and at the same time maybe ask him when will that person show up. So many people pray to the god of love. Here is the other important god we know as the god of war. His name is Guan Yu. Guan Yu is a Taoism god, and he is from our history of the Three Kingdom period. At his time, he is the most famous general of all because of his weapon, the Dragon Falcon blade, and also his reputation of loyalty to his Lord King, Liu Bei. At that time, there were three kingdoms: the king of the north, the king of the west, and the king of the south. And he served the king of the west. And at those times, he has been known to help the poor and also save the people out of the war zone. And that's why when people think about him, they think about protection. Here is the incense pot. In our religious culture, the incense is the way that we connected with the God. So every worshiper, they will hold one incense in their hand and they will do the prayers. And after they finish their prayer, they will put the incense inside the pot. And when the smoke goes up to the heaven, then you know your prayer has been listened. And some people even believe the incense itself will create a spiritual connection between you and the God himself. We can see the marvelous door god. There's two generals standing right in the god, right in the door over here, and which the temple will close at 10 o'clock. And those images will scare this evil spirit away from the temple. And the door god is within all the Taoism temple on this island, Taiwan. So those are two marvelous door gods. So amazing paints, and it's so vivid as well. When I do the tour, I will explain the color of this column. It is black, and I will ask people why it is black. It is not made black, it is actually smoke black. So you can see how beautiful this is. So everyone, this is the Longshan Temple souvenir shop, but this is not an ordinary souvenir shop. Actually, the clerk will ask you, which god did you pray to? So you will buy the corresponding souvenir. If you didn't pray to any god, I'm sorry, this is not a shop for you. You cannot buy the souvenir from here. So we also know that those souvenirs have some power in it, and those power are from the local gods. So after you purchase a souvenir from here, if you want to get a strength from the god, you have to bring it to the incense pot over there and then spin 3 rows of it. And that is how it works. So everyone, now I want to share an idea for you. And this idea is about why we love the dragon so much. I know in the Western culture, many dragons will spit fire and they will destroy the village. But here in our culture, the dragon actually spits water. It will bring rain to us. And as an agricultural cultural society, rain is so crucial to our livelihood. So everyone sees dragon, they see rain, they see fortune, and they see the blessing as well. So some of you might also know, like the Chinese emperor also think himself as a son of the dragon. So that's the reason why we love the dragon so much. After the Longshan Temple tour, I would like to share about the location for you. Actually, where we are standing here, it have a name called Banga. And you might wonder, why they build a temple here? It's actually, if you remove all the building, all the surrounding, you will find the river is not far away, right over there, the Dancer River. And that's why this is one of the oldest Han Chinese community at the time. So people do trade here. Even till today, you will see around with many commercial shop and even a night market right next to the Longshan Temple. So when you have a chance to visit the Longshan Temple, don't forget to also visit the surrounding area as well. Hello everyone! Welcome you all to visit the Chiang kai-shek Memorial Hall. This is an amazing building and is constructed after Chiang kai-shek passed away in 1975. And it only took 5 years for the engineer to think about the design and then built this magnificent memorial hall for him. You can see from the outside that the style is mixture of all different amazing buildings around the world. For example, the white marble stone, the idea from Taj Mahal, and also the blue rooftop up there is the idea of the China Temple in Beijing, and also the stairs like an Egypt pyramid. And finally, inside the memorial hall, you will see Chiang kai-shek, a big statue of him, sitting in the middle, just like Lincoln Memorial. So this is a combination of many good ideas. And when you visit this place, you'll be amazed by how big this place is. And it also shows one thing, like the people here actually really cherish and honor Chiang kai-shek's journal. And why is that? Because he is a wartime leader during the World War II. Many people believe he's the savior of the Chinese people from the Japanese. And I want to share a history about why Chiang kai-shek Memorial Hall is here in Taiwan but not in China. So after the end of the World War II in 1945, Chiang kai-shek get into another fight, a fight between Chiang kai-shek and the communist Mao Zedong. And unfortunately, Chiang kai-shek lost that battle. So instead of having rule in China, he had to retreat to the island Taiwan. And he brought in many people that estimate 1.5 million people follow him to the island of Taiwan. And very important of all, he bring his own government, Republic of China, to this island. That's the reason why now you might know we call Republic of China Taiwan. And so for some people there's really like a mix, like why we say Republic of China and why is Taiwan. But actually for now it's both. We are using the Constitution of Republic of China, but many of us, just like me, we consider ourselves as the Taiwanese people. And this is our history. So later on, we're going to show you more details about Chiang kai-shek's personal life. But let me show you one of the interesting facts. If you have the chance to visit this place, you will see the stairs. And you can count it. It's actually 89 steps. And that is also his age. Chiang kai-shek lived till 89 years old, till he passed away. So this is a place we honor him, and this is a place that's mixed with all the great Chinese history and about the story of World War II. So now, follow me and let me show you one of the most important tourist destinations in the Great Hall. And we're going to see the changing of the guard ceremony inside. Hello everyone. Here, this is one of the must-see in Taipei City. This is the ceremony of the changing of the guard. Those are well-trained soldiers, and they are practicing the changing of the guard every hour. This is Republic of China Navy Honor Guard. You can see how precise their move is, just like a robot. They are perfectly well trained, and I know they even practice the meditation skill, because those two guards right in the picture had to stand for 1 hour, and they can't move an inch at all. Later on, they will do a very brief performance in the middle, and those moves is to honor one of our greatest leader, Chiang kai-shek. Chiang kai-shek is a general in the Republic of China. And he's not just a single general. He's the one that unified the whole KMT party. And during the World War II, he is the symbol of the rebellion. He is the hope of all the Chinese people that can save themselves from the Japanese hand. If you know some of the World War II movies, you definitely heard about how terrified a Japanese soldier can make you feel. So Chiang Kai-shek, on the other hand, is a symbol of democracy, freedom, and the hope of all the Chinese communities. The Chiang Kai-shek legacy started in the early 20th century. And during those times, he fought from a single soldier to the world chief leader. And his story is so famous that almost everyone on this island know about it. One of the tales is about when he was a little boy. He saw a river, and then a fish told him, "You must keep working hard to be a better man." And we taught that in our elementary school contest about 40 years ago. Today, Chiang Kai-shek is a controversial name for many Taiwanese people because he saved the Chinese community from the Japanese hand. But on the other hand, when he came to Taiwan, some people say he ruled like a dictator. Why is that? It's because the General Chiang Kai-shek later on become the President Chiang Kai-shek always have a dream about unifying the whole Taiwan and also build a great army to regain the control of the mainland China. And because of this dream, he had to use very severe control method to gain all the resources of Taiwan Island. The sound is mean salute. Now, the two guards are changing. They are switching side, and later on, it will be two new honor guards standing in front of the statue of Chiang Kai-shek. Now I have an interesting fact to tell you. Even till today, the military service in Taiwan is mandatory. So that means every man needs to serve as a military soldiers. For the people who born before 1993, they have to serve 1 year. Nowadays, it's a 4-month training. And basically, our national defense strategy is that we teach every citizen how to protect ourselves and also how to behave during the war. That means salute. That means at ease. The changing of the guard ceremony will happen from the early morning, 9 o'clock, to 5 p.m. afternoon. So every hour, they will practice this ceremony once. Now it's the time for the honor guard to stand on their position. Now I'm going to share a second interesting fact. To be selected as an honor guard, you must have the height over 180 centimeters. And also, you need to have a good looking face as well, because they represent the face of our nation. The Chiang Memorial Hall is one of the most famous tourist destinations in Taipei City. Every day, there are visitors coming here, honoring Chiang Kai-shek, and also take a look of the beautiful ceremony, changing of the guard. So from now on, that soldier in the pictures had to stand there for an hour. And now, those two honor guard will go downstairs and have their rest for 1 hour. Then relax and also get ready for another changing of the guard ceremony at 2 p.m. So now we can see the whole park is built to honor Chiang Kai-shek. And Chiang Kai-shek has a dream of taking control of China once again. But he never fulfilled that dream. So after he's passed away, people built him a tiny forbidden city to make his statue. Look at it. In the left, you can see now it's a national theater, and the right is the concert hall. And those two buildings is exactly the same that you can see in Beijing Forbidden City. Is actually the Emperor Palace and also the Empress Palace. And the reason why we put it there is to make Chiang Kai-shek feel like home again. Feel like he's being in charge in China, he's being in charge in Beijing. So last, I will want to share the story of the Freedom Plaza for you. Now we know the whole park is constructed in 1975 and it finished in 1980s. But ever since then, this place is not just for people to worship Chiang Kai-shek or just know the history. After that, this park has been very, very important for Taiwan democracy. In the 1990s, a group of students gathering in the plaza over there, and they want the reformation of the Republic of China government, and they did make it happen. So today, when people think about Chiang Kai-shek Memorial Hall, they just not think about Chiang Kai-shek himself, but also think about the struggle of all the Taiwanese people that fight for our own democracy and also fight for our own nations. Now we're inside the Chiang Kai-shek Memorial Hall, and this is a history gallery. And now I'm going to tell you the story of the born of Republic of China. Some of you might know the last dynasty is the Chiang dynasty, which we have the emperor in China. But after 1911, it's the revolution. And the revolution born Republic of China. But during that time, Republic of China is a chaos. There is warlord in different areas that want a piece of the land, and they want the fortune as well. So at that time, our leader is our national founder, Dr. Sun Yat-sen. But Dr. Sun Yat-sen didn't have the army. So how to control the whole China is a very big problem for him. And that is the time Chiang Kai-shek became famous. So Chiang Kai-shek started with a single soldier, but because of his leadership skill and his personal charisma, he became one of the greatest leaders in our history. And after Dr. Sun Yat-sen passed away in 1925, the power handed over to General Chiang Kai-shek. And with the political power and the military talent he had, he unified the whole China in the year of 1928. And from that on, the modern China was born. But very sadly, the history is very cool. Just right after 10 years of the peaceful time, the Japanese invade China in 1938. And that is a time for the Chinese people, the war broke up. And so we fight 8 years hardship war since 1938 till 1945. And in the previous 4 years till 1941, China fought alone. But we all know the sad story of the Pearl Harbor happened in 1941. And since that on, the US and the British Army joined the force of Chiang Kai-shek Army. And together, they start their crusade against the Japanese. So later on, I'm going to show you a history photo of the Cairo meeting that with President Chiang Kai-shek, the President Roosevelt, and also Winston Churchill. This picture was taken in 1943 in Cairo. And some of the people say this is the four giant. So you can see Chiang kai-shek in the left-hand side, President Roosevelt in the middle, and Winston Churchill in the right. And then we also have Song Mei-ling. Song Mei-ling is the wife of Chiang kai-shek. And in those days, she plays a very important role because Chiang kai-shek himself didn't speak a single word of English. So about the translation, about the communication skill, it's all about Madam Song. And as this picture, some people even say this is the foundation or the very pre-meeting of the United Nations. So as we all know, there are only a few countries have the veto power, and China is one of them. And that's the reason is because of this. At the time, during the World War II, China, US, United Kingdom joined forces together to form a new world. Okay everyone, well done! Thank you for joining the tour of Chiang Kai-shek Memorial Hall. And now we're going to take you to the next destination. It's one of the fun places in Taipei City. It's the Tai Historical House. And let's go! Hello everyone! Now is our last stop. Behind me is the Tai Historical House. This building is also built in the early 18th century, and later on I'm going to tell you the story of how our ancestors lived in this big mansion. The name Tai is actually owned by the family Ling. And in many Chinese names, maybe you know, it's Ling, Chen, Wang, and Chen. But this is Mr. Ling families, and they're a big family, they're businessmen. So I'm going to share about what their decoration is and also about the idea of how they live in this big house. So here we can look at the Tai Historical House. You can see in front of it there is a pond. Some might say, oh, that's a swimming pool. But no, that's not. It's because of the feng shui concept. What is feng shui? Feng shui is about using the surrounding landscape and also the decoration in the house to create a strong atmosphere. And in our culture, we believe a good feng shui place will bring good fortune and also luck to the family. So in front of you, you see a pond that is actually for the feng shui concept. In our culture, we believe water represents money, and that pond is a collect of water, and that also means collects of money. In the back, you can see some of the green forest. In the old 18th century, the house is not located here. It actually have a mountain behind it. And so the Ling family believe that when they have a mountain in their back and in front of the pond, that is a good feng shui concept. Now, I would like you to imagine yourself living in the early 20th century, and you are 20 years old. You live in this big house. Later on, we're going to walk inside, and we see the living room, we see the bathroom, and we'll see the kitchen as well. So I'm going to tell you how our ancestors lived in this big house. So please follow me, and let's go. So now, when we're walking in the house, there is one thing you must know, is that we have to cross over this wooden stairs. In the many typical Chinese building, you will all see this. And that is represent, this is outside and here's inside. And it's also one of the idea about keeping the good fortune and energy inside, but not outside. But if you are showing your disrespectful thing, you will try to step on it. That will be a very rude way of entering the house. So you always kind of like, let's try again, cross over it. Yes, just like that. So when you do that, you will have bow a little bit. And this is also how you show a little bit of respect to this family. We are in the main hall of the Ling house. And I want to tell you something. In the past, the Chinese tradition is the older you are, the more important you are. So in the Ling family, the men who have the power is the grandpa. The grandpa himself have all the power. And actually during that time, when you make a mistake, you won't be sent to the police station. You will be tried here inside the family. And in those days, a big family like this, there used to be like 100 people living inside here, including the servant, including the worker as well. So when you're living in the early 18th century, when you're living inside the Ling family, you will be teaching just right next door. There is a classroom. And also you have your own playground and also your own room. But the room also be step of the grandpa room will be closest to this area, and then maybe it's your father and then your uncles and so on. So this place is a place when they have a family gathering. You will see the grandparents sitting over here and the rest of the elderly will be standing right next to it. So if you have a chance to look at some Chinese movie, you will see the typical room like this. So everyone, now I would like to show you this wood carving. And I'm going to elaborate that for you. What does that mean? And why it is carving like this? So here, if you look in the middle, you will find this is actually the incense. Do you remember the incense pot in the Longshan Temple? It's like an incense pot right over here. And in the middle, this too is the head of a dragon, the dragon head. And surrounded by it is the smoke and also 4 different dragons. Let me count it for you. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you're going to see 6 different dragons in this wood carving. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And also all the smoke. And the smoke is actually mean there's many children to come in this family. And beside that, there is other animal in the wood carving. Is the bat. If you know the Mandarin word of the bat is 蝙蝠, and 福 is actually mean fortune. And that's the reason why they carve it on this wood carving. So the bat in this wood carving also means good fortune. So everyone, now you have to imagine yourself living in this room, and this is your bedroom. So here we will have some nice sheet over here. You can see the wooden bed. There's some nice carving up top and also some good mirror over here. You can see. So for the rich family, they can have this well-decorated bed for their children. And over there is a water sink. So when you need to wash your hand or wash your face, that is the place to do it. Now I would like you to guess, what is this for? 1, 2, 3. Anyone want to try? Okay, I will give you the answer. In the old days, there's no toilet. So this is their toilet. And every morning, the servant will come to collect that outside and throw it to the sink. So this is your toilet if you're living in the early 18th century. Here is the kitchen. In the past, there's no natural gas. So what should we do? It's actually we'll put some wood inside and we'll set fire to cook. And this is a steam box. I think many of you might heard about our delicious xiaolongbao. This is actually a steam pot that can create xiaolongbao. Use the steaming heat to cook your food. And this is another type of steam box. Maybe some of you heard some interesting food called the pork blood cake. That is a mixture of pork blood and also sticky rice together. It's also you can make it over here. So in the past, they have to collect many wood. Usually they have a servant to do the service for them. And also, they're going to be afraid of the fire. So what should they do? So here, they have a fire god. Usually, before they start cooking, they will pray to the fire god and then pray all the safety that they can find. But in case if they have a problems, they'll also have a storage water place right over there. So this is the kitchen space. You can make all kind of food, and mostly what you will eat during the early 18th century will be rice, because we are the agriculture society. Hi everyone! You see my cool new clothes? This is a typical Chinese traditional clothes. And beside me is the tiger god. The tiger god is a protector for children. So I'm standing in the children playing room, and this is a place they can have some toys to play. They don't have Switch, they don't have iPhone, they don't have Game Boy, but yeah, that's what they have, some wooden horse that they can play with. So now in front of you is a beautiful garden. A family such as the Ling family, they are rich enough to build and garden for themselves. And if you're living in the early 20th century, early 18th century, this is your whole world, especially if you are a lady. Because as a lady, you will be having your life here, and later on maybe you will be married to a wealthy family and move to another big family. So they create a lot of entertaining things in this garden, such as the lotus pond, and also a place where they can enjoy like the Chinese opera. So here you'll see this is like a tea house, and also there's a stage where they can enjoy Chinese opera. And sometimes they will hire a whole music band to this place and play the music for them. Hello everyone, it's me again. I'm so happy to be your tour guide for today. We have been through Longshan Temple, Chiang Memorial Hall, and then this, the Tai Historical House. It's been a pleasure for me to show you around, and I'm very happy to share some of my own history, culture, and beautiful building to you. So I'm hoping to see you very soon online, and I hope you enjoy this video clip as well. Thank you very much. See you next time.